All right, you are amazing for sticking with me. We are going through this amazing journey of spiritual technology, and please God, we are going to really, really grow and be sources of light for the whole world. So, I want to discuss with you the idea of we're in the chapter about forgiveness and overcoming resentment. Let me tell you a story that really, really impressed me. I remember I was a kid, so the city that I live in, we don't really have a good Jewish school. My parents sent me out of town to learn. By us, Jewish education is very, very critical, very important, which obviously goes without saying that moral education is the job of a parent, teaching a child between right and wrong. And just in case you're wondering if your child wants to hear, studies show that most teens think the way their parents think. So it's very critical to get your kid off the media and to tell him the truth about life. But that's a separate issue. Now, while we're talking about the idea of forgiveness, it's important to understand the importance of asking for forgiveness. When I was a kid, there was a guy who was very, very nervous. So I remember the scene. He shouted at me, and we were just having fun. It was a party in the synagogue. And okay, so it is what it is. So many years later, amazing, many years later, I was a young adult, and I came and we happened to meet in the same synagogue. He says, many years ago I shouted at you, and I want to apologize. I was, wow, that's impressive. So you see, that man gained my respect. Why? Because, you know, that what do they say? To err is human, to forgive is divine. It takes a really big person to go to someone else and say, I apologize, I'm sorry. We'll all fall short. We'll all insult people some way or another. But let us have the human decency. And more than that, let us have the courage and let us have, I don't know what the right word is, the maturity to go ahead and to say, I'm sorry. And people really do get hurt. And people really do feel much, much better. So you can make someone's day because, if just like you can break someone, you can make someone. And when you go and you say, I'm sorry, that matters. Another thing that I want to say is quite a simple thing. And that is when it's actually a very, very, very important thing. And that is the relationship between a parent and a child. You see, often parents, again, sometimes we're frustrated, will say something nasty to the child. Then you must go back and you must say to the child, I love you. In other words, why are you saying it? Because obviously the child is misbehaving. Maybe you could have done it in a better way, but you're nervous, you're stressed, whatever. The point is that you have to show the child that the relationship is restored. A person should never use fear. Fear in the future is the worst thing. If you do this, or just wait till daddy comes home. There's a story in the Talmud where I think a mother said that to her child, or the father says, I'm going to give you a smack later, and the child was afraid. And the child left the house and he went to the beach and he fell and he drowned. And the great Jewish sages say, never use fear. If you have to punish your child, even if you have to shout at them, better do it. Never threaten them. Because the worst thing is that a person should feel a sense of impending doom. That's the worst thing possible. Okay, you did the thing. I know somebody who told me, I don't want to go into that, but basically he was always worried a whole week. His father used to test him, and then his father would hit him if he didn't do good. His whole week he was concerned about this moment, what would happen. So you have to understand that with a child, never ever, children need safety. They have enough innate fear. They don't need any fear. They need from you protection. So again, just to sum it up, what a big thing of us when we've insulted somebody, and even if we've insulted them by ignoring them, we go over and say, I was just really preoccupied, or I was just in a bad mood. I remember there was a lady, unfortunately, she lost her husband. People, when we were in bad moods, we do it. So I've been very nice to them. I've been going there for a couple of years. Older couple, just tried to help them out, give them some challah for Shabbos, whatever it is. So, and then after her husband, so she says to me, Rabbi, I'm not like you, whatever. So then the next week she says, yeah, I'm sorry, I had a bad day. But, I didn't take it personal. But the point is that it was impressive that she said, I'm sorry. That, when you say that to somebody, they'll remember you. They'll say, wow, that's a mature person. And last but not least, super critical when it comes to your children. Always, always, always. Again, they'll remember you. They'll respect you. Say, I'm sorry. Or say that, I'm sorry that I had to shout at you. You just were doing something wrong. But really, I'm so proud of you. And then the child knows that the relationship is back on track.